Good morning. It's Tina Lorraine, your certified abundant mindset coach and your ghostwriter guru. And this morning, I just wanted to jump on real quick and kind of talk to you about how to become what you see in your heart. And this is something that I often pray and meditate on and ask God constantly because we're always evolving, we're always seeing visions, we're always growing. We should be moving forward instead of stagnant or backwards. But even in those times of stillness, even in those times of feeling like nothing is happening, like you might feel like I'm stagnant, I'm broken, I'm always chasing something that I'm not being. I know in my heart I'm supposed to become this thing that God wants me to become because He keeps putting it in my heart and I keep seeing the vision. And doesn't the word say God gives you the desires of your heart? Yes, the word does say that. And yes, God is not a liar, that is not a man that He shall lie, right? That spirit shall lie. Spirit doesn't lie to us. What happens is our life kind of programs us and lies to us in a sense. The things that we go through, the experiences, they lie to us. They tell us, it programs us to think less of ourselves. If we've been through trauma, when I was being sexually molested and raped and all these things over a period of years, that's trauma. That's trauma to the mind, that's trauma to the brain, that's trauma to the spirit. When you learn to live in a lack or scarcity or victimized mindset, which is what I learned from being victimized at such a young age, I didn't have any self-esteem or high self-worth or value or anything like that. So I learned that. So the dreams that I had in my heart became smaller and smaller. Just like the dreams in your heart might be seemingly becoming smaller and smaller because you feel like you can't do it. You feel like it's too big. You feel like you don't have the right tools. You don't have the degree. You don't have the education. You don't have the mindset, basically, is what you're telling yourself. And that's not true. God does not leave us without resources. We have all the things that we need to be the person that God intended for us to be, the full expression of our best selves, of our divine selves. I did not say perfect self. I just said the person who's living out of their heart, out of their dreams. But how do you become that? We have to really start asking God questions. We see things from God and we know it's God, but then we don't ask God the right questions because we feel like we should know it already, or we feel like we have to trust others, we have to ask others. When God is there, God will bring you the right people, which is called the resources. God will point you in the direction of the right people, the right tools. It might be things on Google you need to be looking up, but God has that all planned because God knows you and God has made you. So whatever God is calling you to do, of course it looks like it's impossible, but that does not mean you put it back in your heart. It just means that first of all, you have to get on the road to healing. You have to heal your mind, heal your body if that's the issue, heal these things. I'm currently healing my body from autoimmune diseases that keep attacking it. But I'm not giving up on my dreams. I'm still pursuing my dreams. I'm still a life coach. I'm still taking care of my grandbaby right now. I'm still loving me. I'm still healing me. I'm still walking with me and accepting me. I'm still aligning to the divine, the divine that I know is inside of me. So we don't just give up. And because the vision is so great that God gives me, a lot of times I felt like I could not rise to that. God was putting me in these rooms where these women were corporate and they have all this experience and education and degrees. And I have a degree, but can I tell you a secret? The degree I have never gotten a job based off of my degree. I have always gotten jobs that God has opened the door for me. It's been something that I've easily walked into. I'm a teacher. that came about. You have to watch one of my other lives how that came about. But I never thought I was a teacher. I didn't start out, dreaming in my childhood, I want to be a teacher. That was not even on my radar. It came from through homeschooling my kids, which I thought I never could do either, which led to a bigger picture when I put them in a school to becoming a teacher, to becoming an English teacher. I started out an English teacher. And who knew? When I was younger, I always had a love for words. I always loved to read. I was always good at spelling. All the signs were there, but I didn't know the full picture of it. And that's what I'm here to tell you. Whatever dream that God gives you, 9 times out of 10, you've probably seen the end vision of it. And so you're looking at yourself going, there's so many gifts and talents in you that are hidden and undiscovered because you won't open your heart. You keep taking your dreams and putting them inside of your heart, and then you unpack it every little once in a while, and then you go, I wish, and then you put it back in there. You can't do that. You have to allow your dreams to come to fruition. You have to allow them to flourish. You do not know what talents and gifts you possess. You know some of them, but you don't know all of them. I don't know everything that I possess. I told you God put me in rooms where these women were in my mind at the time way above me. I don't think that way now. But back then, I thought so poorly of myself. And this was just a few years back, guys. It wasn't like it was 10 years ago. I always thought poorly of myself, but it was really triggering me to be, I'm like, why, God, why, something I prayed to be in. But at the same time, when God opened the door and I was able to pay for it, it was when I became a certified coach. I was in this room with all these women that was like amazing. And they were all these, they had all these pedigrees and whatnot. And that was just me. Little old broken Tina who been victimized and had such a scarcity mindset and thought so little of herself and taught for years and even opened up my own little teaching academy from my own home. I mean, I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of great things, but at the time, my self-esteem and my value was so low. And I was wondering, I was like, God, I know in my heart I'm supposed to be here, but my mind keeps fighting me. So I'm here to tell you, don't let your mind talk you out of your heart. Don't let your life talk you out of your heart. The vision and plans that God has given you are for you, but God is not going to make you bring them to fruition. God is going to say, hey, I'm here. Use me as your resource. Tap in, align, get healed so you can see clearly. A lot of times we talk ourselves out of stuff because it's something we need to heal from. We can't see it. We can't see it in ourselves because we're not aligned. So we have to get aligned. I had to get aligned. I had to come from a very low place in my thinking and align myself. When God called me to be a life coach, and it was this lady I was following that was aligned to spiritual life coaching. Like, I knew that's where I was supposed to be. And that's why I say you have to ask God to guide you. You have to ask God how to become what you see in your heart. I asked God, how do I become this? How do I do this? How do I afford this? I couldn't at the time even afford the certification. But the first time around, I couldn't afford it. And then the second time around, it was discounted and it was payments plans set up. It was all like for me, something that I could, and the money was there. Everything worked out. So I had a lot of growth to do. I had a lot of healing to do, and I'm still healing and I'm still growing. And we're all going to be doing that as long as we're breathing and living and moving. So don't let that stop you. Do what your heart is telling you to do. Align to the divine within you. And God provides the resources when you make your mind up. Stop letting your life talk you out of what you can't do. Stop letting your mind talk you out of what you can't do, and follow God. Get the resources that God gives you. God will give you the resources. God gave me the resources. I am no different from you. And so therefore, if I can come from broken and rise up and believe that I can achieve everything that God shows me, then you can do the same thing. There is no difference between me and you. There's no there's no special sauce that God gave me that he didn't give you. The only special sauce is for you to make a decision and a choice and to believe in yourself enough just to reach out to God. You say, God, how do I do this? Show me the resources. Show me how to stay in step with you. Show me how to align. And when it starts to happen, don't fight it. If it means that God starts showing you that you need healing in areas, then that's what you do. You do the small things until you get to the bigger vision. The small things will add up and you keep taking steps. And eventually you'll be walking in your dreams. You'll be walking in your visions. But you have to do the small things first. I mean, healing is a small thing and it's a big thing because everything else is kind of predicated upon how healed your heart is, how much you're willing to be transparent with yourself and your junk and your triggers and your traumas. And some people don't think they have any triggers or traumas or anything like that. And it might not be to the extent of somebody else. Somebody might have went through more than you. You might have went through less. But all I'm saying is you have to heal. You have to heal in order to align to your divine self, because the things that God shows you is always going to require you to grow. It's always going to require your mindset to shift. It's always going to require you to evolve. So even if it's not necessarily you've been victimized like I was or traumatized or whatever, it could just be that you have to grow into a new mindset. But that requires time, and that requires investing in yourself. You might have to get some coaching. You might have to, if it's trauma or triggering, you might have to get some therapy. It just depends. Whatever your story is, this is your ghostwriter talking to you now. Whatever your story is, God is going to lead you to the right resources. God is creating your story. You're creating your story. You're creating a new story every day. You're creating new stories. You're, using your old stories to help people out. So get to creating what's in your heart. Stop denying your heart because of your mindset. Reprogram your mindset. If you need help with this, click on my link. Join my mailing list so we can schedule our appointment and so we can get on the road to healing. I can help you to heal. I can give you the tools that you need to heal. So understand when God is talking to you and providing you with resources and answering your prayers. Take the small steps so you can see the bigger vision down the line. I will talk to you soon. This is Tina Lorraine, your Ghostwriter Guru and your spiritual mindset coach. See ya.